tests out there. Are there some, best practices that you would like to guide us through that we should take into consideration when we take a test to flight? And I'm coming from a space where specifically when it comes to D2C as a space or e-commerce as a space, things like seasonality, things like cross-channel effect can kind of play a role. So are there some best practices that you kind of, would want to just throw some light on?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole class is about that naturally. But if there is one best practice I'm going to leave all of you with, it's this stepwise process. Okay. There is 9 steps here. Follow this 9-step process. There is no, if you go out in the market, there is no 9 steps. They will talk about market selection and they'll talk about counterfactual analysis. Okay. That's what everybody thinks about. Well, there is a lot of steps in between. You go through market selection, you figure out if the test is feasible before you test it. In fact, I'm talking to a brand right now, very recognizable brand. If I tell you the name, you'll be like, yeah, of course I know. They're amazing data scientists. These are guys in the West Coast, in California. Every resume looks like it came out of the moon, right? But if you see the test they ran, they didn't do any feasibility analysis. They have no idea what the decisions are going to be. And while they executed it, there was a lot of botching in the execution. Now they're looking at the result and they can't read it. They're like, dude, we just ran this massive geo test. We picked one market because blah, blah, blah. And then we piled into this market, but they don't know what have control markets, or maybe have control markets, but they're not well defined. And they don't know what insights they're going to get. And the decisions that they're just stuck after having executed for 4 months. And now they're stuck, not knowing what to do with it, right? It's way more common to see brands in that place than in a place where they're actually executing like clockwork, right? For a variety of reasons. The knowledge is just not sort of out there, where it's the best practices are still being developed. And there is so much nuance to the process, and there's so much nuance to the brand itself and what approach they take. It's kind of in a place where it's still evolving pretty rapidly, right? Carl is a good example. Carl he used to work for an agency. Now he works for a brand. The fact that he is here, I mean, he knows a lot about this, and he's here, is a testament to the fact that it recognizes that we need more process, we need more framing around this to execute. But he is in the minority. I don't think I'd be misrepresenting Carl, that you would represent a sort of the edge of the pyramid with respect to even recognition that there needs to be more process and more structure, right? That's where it is. So as you go out in the world, you'll find that it's the wild, wild west. People are just like picking 2 markets out of the blue, running whatever they run, and you end up with like a messy result set, right? If there's one best practice, kind of follow a structured process, so you can. And I'll tell you that half of my tests I don't run. In fact, there's a case study that I put out when I went out to this Yelp conference. There's a branded search case study I put out. They came into me and said, we have to run a branded search test. I really need to understand that. I went through the analysis, and the decisions were so obvious. The feasibility analysis was very clear, and the decision metrics were very clear. We never went in to run the test to begin with. And that's an example of use cases I run into all the time. So I guess the process is the biggest insight I'll give you, and we'll share more.